Hey there, welcome to Story Time. My name's Josh. Thank you so much for being here. I'm excited, as per usual, to read stories. The stories excite you as well? Yeah. If you enjoy reading these stories, please subscribe, click that bell below, and you'll be able to visit the page and read stories whenever you want. Today we're going to be reading a 101 Dalmatians. It's a Disney story. So let's find out what happens. Looks like there are going to be a lot of dogs in this story. 101 to be precise. Let's find out what happens. Get comfortable, because we're about to delve into Story Time. Adapted by Justine Corman, illustrated by Bill Langley and Ron Diaz. What do you think's happening over here? All kinds of stuff. Got some of the dogs here, some of the puppies, and ready? Pongo, Perdita, and their 15 puppies lived in a cozy little house in London. Their humans lived there too. Roger, who was tall and thin and played the piano, and Anita, who laughed a lot. They all got along splendidly and were very happy. Then one day the doorbell rang, and in came Cruella de Vil, Anita's old friend from school. There she is. Piano's being played and all kinds of fun stuff until Cruella de Vil arrives. "How marvellous," Cruella said, stroking the puppy's soft fur. "I'll take them all, the whole litter." "I'm afraid we can't give them up," gasped Anita. "Poor Perdita, she'd be heartbroken." "Don't be ridiculous," said Cruella. "You can't possibly afford to keep them." "We're not selling the puppies," replied Roger, "and that's final." Furious, Cruella stamped out of the house. One frosty night a few weeks later, Pongo and Perdita went out for a walk with Roger and Anita. The puppies were at home, asleep in their basket. Suddenly 2 men burst into the house. They put all the puppies into a bag. A big bag. Then they carried the bag out to their truck and sped away. No, they stole the puppies. Not cool. I love dogs. Do you like dogs? Especially cute little puppies, hey? Hope they'll be okay. After being in the truck for what seemed like hours, the 15 puppies found themselves in a room filled with many other Dalmatian puppies. On a couch in front of a television were 2 nasty men who had kidnapped them. The other Dalmatians told them that the men worked for Cruella de Vil, who had bought the puppies from pet stores. Got all the puppies there. Super cute, but super sad as well. Back at home, Pongo and Perdita were horrified to find their puppies missing. Pongo heard Roger tell Anita he suspected Cruella de Vil had stolen the puppies. "Purdy, I'm afraid it's all up to us," said Pongo. "There's the twilight bark." The twilight bark was a system of long and short barks used by dogs to pass along news. A bit sad there, Pongo and Perdita. The next evening, Pongo and Perdita went on another walk with Roger and Anita. While the Dalmatians were out, they barked long and loud. They wanted all the dogs in London to be on the lookout for their puppies. So that's them barking there to tell all the other dogs, because dogs have really good hearing, don't they? That's right. Pongo waited for someone to answer his barks. It was a very cold night, and most dogs were inside. Then Perdita added her bark to Pongo's, and at last they heard a reply. It came from a Great Dane, who relayed the message to every other dog within barking range. There's a Great Dane. They're very, very big dogs. Have you ever seen a Great Dane before? They're really, really, really big. They're way bigger than this little tiny pup. That night, the twilight bark even reached a quiet farm where an old sheepdog known as the Colonel lay sleeping. "Colonel, sir," shouted Sergeant Tibbs, a cat who lived on the farm. He had to let the Colonel know about the vital message coming in. This is the farm. Cool looking property, all covered in snow though. Any of you out there live in the snow? Snow's cool. The Colonel lifted one shaggy ear to listen to the faint message. "It's from London," 15 spotted puddles stolen. Of course, puppies, he cried. 2 nights passed. I heard a puppy barking, Tibbs said, remembering as he pointed to the DeVille mansion. The Colonel barked a message back to London. Then he told Tibbs, I suppose we better investigate. They headed straight for the gloomy DeVille mansion. Tibbs held on tight to the Colonel's back as he rushed through the snow. Here's Tibbs and the Colonel. The Colonel lifting his ear up to try and hear what's happening. And then here's Tibbs as he trudges through the snow. Once they arrived, Tibbs climbed onto the Colonel's shoulders. He peeked through an open window. Psst. Are you one of the 15 stolen puppies? He asked a little puppy without a collar. They're over there, said the puppy. The men heard the noise and went to investigate. Tibbs and the Colonel ran away, but not before promising to get help. As the evil men watching TV and all the puppies roaming around. The Colonel and Tibbs, let's hope they can get some help, hey? The next morning, Cruella DeVille arrived. It's got to be done tonight, she cried. You couldn't get half a dozen coats out of the whole caboodle, complained one of her men, pointing to the puppies. Then we'll settle for half a dozen, said Cruella, but do it. She dashed out and roared off in her car. Sergeant Tibbs and the Colonel had returned just in time to hear Cruella give the order. Hey kids, you'd better get out of here if you want to save your skins, Tibbs whispered. Then he shoved one of the puppies toward a hole in the wall. One by one, the other puppies followed. There's Tibbs there. Isn't that cool? A cat helping out dogs. Helping them all into the hole in the wall. And they're all following. Suddenly, the 2 thugs realized that the puppies were escaping. The chase was on. Tibbs and the puppies scooted through the dark halls of the mansion. Soon they found themselves trapped at a dead end. The thugs raised their clubs to strike. At that moment, Pongo and Perdita crashed through the window with a blast of glass and freezing air. The angry Dalmatians' parents fought off the surprised men as all the puppies scampered to safety. Look, them fighting here. The evil men are getting what they deserve. You don't steal puppies. Hey, yuck, not cool. Once the dogs were safely outside, they thanked the Colonel and Tibbs and said goodbye. Then they hurried toward London. Pongo and Perdita led the way, their 15 puppies and all the other Dalmatian pups right behind them. When they reached a frozen stream, they carefully crossed the slippery surface so they wouldn't leave paw prints. Then they resumed the race home. All along their route, the Dalmatians were helped by other dogs. A black Labrador retriever arranged for them to ride to London in a moving van. The Dalmatians waited in a shed while the van was being fixed. Suddenly, Cruella's big car pulled up outside. Somehow she had followed their tracks. Pongo, said Perdita, how will we get to the van? Pongo noticed lots of ashes in the fireplace. If they all rolled in the soot, they would look just like black Labradors. They wouldn't look like Dalmatians anymore. If they covered themselves in the soot, which is like charcoal, and it's like black. So they roll around in it, and then they become look like Labradors, even though they're Dalmatians. Look at them all here. So they've all darkened up. This one's only half done. When the van was ready, the dogs marched outside. One after another, the soot-covered puppies were lifted into the van. Before Pongo had a chance to pick up the last one, a clump of snow fell from the shed onto the puppy. Pongo snatched up the pup, but the snow had washed away the soot. From her car, Cruella could see the white fur and black spots. There they go! She shouted as the van pulled away. Faster and faster went the van, but Cruella's car drew closer and closer. She was screaming in anger. Then she began to yell in fear. Her car skidded on the icy road. Cruella tried to stop it, but her car spun around and slid into a ditch. The last Dalmatian saw of Cruella. She was standing beside her wrecked car having a nasty temper tantrum. Uh-oh. Bit scary, bit dangerous. Driving so fast in the snow. These cute little puppies though. He's unfortunately got a bit of snow on him and it washed the soot away. Yeah, most of them are the same now though, as it all wears away. When the van reached the cosy little house in London, Roger and Anita were overjoyed. When they counted the dogs, they discovered that they now had 101 Dalmatians. "We'll buy a big place in the country," said Roger. "We'll have a Dalmatian plantation." And they did exactly that. Pongo, Perdita and all the spotted puppies lived there, happily ever after. There we go. Wow. Can you imagine having 101 dogs? That'd be fun. That'd be pretty intense. Well, there we go. That's 101 Dalmatians done. All right. Thank you so much for reading the story with me today. If you enjoy these stories, please subscribe and click that bell. Bye for now, but not forever. I'll see you again for another story soon.